We will introduce our first speaker, Lori Brown. Lori has made her mark holding politicians accountable. So all of you that are in the crowd here, by the way, know Lori Brown's name. But more importantly, Lori really treasures being a mother and a wife, and her wonderful career as a reporter as why she gets up every day. So I want to introduce Lori Brown.
Good evening, everyone. I too feel very safe right now, and I also feel very honored to be here, which is why I don't mind that I'm missing my alma mater's biggest game that they've had in quite some time. USC is playing Stanford for the Pac-12 championship, and I do have it on DVR. Gotta love technology, so I won't miss it, but if you do know the score, don't tell me. I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for your service and for choosing a job where you put your life on the line to protect mine. Now, I don't know how you feel about hearing from a reporter tonight, especially after the news media has given a lot of scrutiny to police officers, and I know some of it seems unfairly so. And I want to say that in light of all of the videos that have gone viral, a lot of them have been shared without full context in recent months. And I believe that it leads many of us to forget that for every one police officer who may abuse his power, there are thousands of others who are making sacrifices every single day to keep our neighborhoods safe. So how about a big round of applause for you all? I read an article where journalist Anthony Hatcher wrote about an old job description of a police officer that he had saved from the 1970s when he was considering that line of work. At the top of the page are the words, this is what he wrote, at the top of the page are the words, a policeman. Below are phrases such as, must keep cool in a crisis like a surgeon, and must know the law like an attorney. The longest one reads, does not flinch before the stares of the hostile, the bricks and bottles of the alienated, or the knives of the demented. He ends the article with, cops can represent the best of us when dealing with the worst of us. This is an interesting situation for me to be in tonight. I'm usually seeing you all stuck behind some police tape, hoping that somebody like Chief Brown will clue me in on what's going on. I'm sure that sometimes there can be a little tension when a reporter shows up to a scene. It's understandable because we both have jobs that can sometimes seem like they contradict each other. Sometimes police need to get information out, and that's when our relationship works perfectly. But sometimes there's information that you just don't want the suspect hearing. And it's your job to keep that information under wraps while reporters are trying to do our job to get that information out. So sometimes the conversation goes like this. The reporter asks, can you please tell me what kind of murder weapon was used? And the police lieutenant says, no, we can't divulge that information yet. The reporter says, okay, so did the suspect use a knife or a gun? Which leads to a sigh, and we can't tell you. Then the reporter says, okay, did the person have a gunshot wound or a stab wound? I'm sure sometimes police officers can feel like they are dealing with a 3-year-old who just can't stop asking the question, why? I've learned a lot as a new parent. Who here is a parent in the room? All right, I'm in some good company. I have an almost 2-year-old, and I also will announce tonight that I have a new little one on the way. That news is so new that I have not put it on Facebook yet. But I wanted to share with all my closest friends here first. Now, for some reason, my toddler thinks that I should be following him. One of his favorite things to do is to see if he can make me chase after him. So on those times when I have to set him down at Target, he takes off running bouncy little chubby legs and gets as far away as he can before he turns to look back to see if I'm following him. And that made me realize that we don't ever lose our desire to lead and to have others follow us. And as a parent, I've seen that desire, it starts as soon as we know how to walk, and probably even sooner than that. So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, is how to be a leader worth following. Now, my toddler, he hasn't earned that right yet, but everyone in this room is a leader in some way. And many of you will continue to lead more and more people as you go throughout your careers. You'll lead other colleagues, and if you're a parent, you're going to lead your children. You'll probably lead nieces and nephews. And with your job, I can tell you, they are going to look up to you big time. So what can make you a leader worth following? I got these 3 points from Pastor Jimmy Knott at First Baptist Orlando, and I tweaked them a little bit just to get an acronym that I could remember. The acronym is CEO. So the C stands for character. You have to have character of integrity to be a leader worth following. The E is for exceptional competence. To be a leader worth following, you have to know your job inside and out. And the O, I think, is the most important, which is to put others first. And these are definitely the qualities that tonight's nominees for Rookie of the Year clearly have. So what does it mean to have character of integrity? You may have heard it said that your character is who you are when no one else is looking. A nonprofit called Character Counts in Iowa tells a story about integrity. The CEO of a large company gathered all of his executives into a room and he announced his retirement. He gave each executive a seed for a tree and said, plant the seed and care for it for a year. And when the year is up, I want you to bring in your trees and I will decide who the next CEO is based on what you grow. One of the executives named Jim took the seed home and he excitedly told his wife, this is his dream job to be the CEO of his company. And so they did some research, they found out what kind of soil to put it in, they got the right size pot, they put it in the right kind of lighting to grow, and day by day they looked into that pot to see the sprouts, and there was nothing growing. And then the weeks went by, and then things got even worse, because then the other executives started talking about their seed, and they all had these plants that were growing. The trees were growing strong, they had bright colored leaves, and so Jim felt like an utter failure. The year went by, and it was time for everyone to bring in their trees. Jim had been dreading this moment since he knew that he had killed his seed. He was worried that he might even be fired on the spot. His pot was the only one that was empty. All of the other executives had brought in strong trees. The CEO saw Jim's empty pot, and he ordered him to come to the front of the room, which is exactly what he'd been dreading. He asked Jim what had happened, and he explained that he could not get the seed to grow, that he had failed. Then the CEO announced, here is your new CEO, Jim. The CEO went on to explain that a year ago, he had given everyone boiled seeds. The seeds were dead, and they could not grow. And Jim was the only one who had the courage to be honest. A leader worth following has character of integrity. Secondly, a leader worth following has exceptional competence. You want to be the person that people can call on when they're not sure what to do. You want to know your job inside and out. And going back to the quote about police officers, you need to know the law like an attorney. You want to be the person that your supervisors can trust, the first to arrive, the last to leave. To be a leader worth following, you need exceptional competence. And I would like to show you a news story now about a state trooper who definitely has exceptional competence. He truly went above and beyond what his job required, and it made a huge difference. I'd now like to leave you with one final quote. It's from the Bible, Joshua 1:9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. Congratulations to these nominees and to everyone who serves with DPD.
Thank you, Lori. Appreciate that.